Hey everyone, Jason here. Today is Monday, August 21st, and it is Eclipse Day. So if you live in the path of the eclipse, hopefully you got a chance to get out and see it. We're not really anywhere where we could get a real good view. I think 85% coverage was about as good as it was going to get for us. And so honestly, I didn't even try to get glasses or anything like that. But if you live somewhere where you could get a look, I hope you got a chance because really cool opportunity. Also, you might have noticed that I didn't do any vlog entries on Saturday or Sunday, so I guess I'm technically not vlogging every day in August, but our goal is to vlog every day, Monday through Friday in August, and hopefully create some valuable content for you guys in the process. The topic for today's vlog are the customers that we had in mind when we created Accelerate. There are really three types of customers that we had in mind when we created Accelerate, and it's shifted a little bit. There's some subcategories that have shown up, but I want to talk about really the three primary types of customers that we have. And the first one are advanced Arduino makers. And I call them advanced Arduino makers because odds are if you're just getting started with Arduino and electronics and you bought your first Arduino board and you're testing and doing things and creating some of those initial projects, you're really not going to have a need for what you can get with the Accelerate board. The power of the FPGA acceleration and offload and the things that Accelerate brings you really isn't even going to be necessary if you're just getting started with Arduino. So it's usually only once someone's used Arduino and they've put it in a project and they keep adding features and adding features and adding functionality that pretty soon they're overloading that microcontroller so much that it just can no longer serve the function that it was originally intended for. So moving to Accelerate in many cases is a great example. Take, for example, servo control. So let's say you're creating a robotics application and you're using an Arduino Uno and you're hooking up some servos. And when you first hook it up, it might work great. Those servos move just like you expect them to. There's no problem. But then you start adding some additional functionality. Maybe you add some sensors, maybe you add some other buttons or some other things that Arduino board's doing. Now all of a sudden, the communication out to that servo becomes problematic because servos are controlled with a pulse width modulated signal that has to meet very, very specific timing in order to keep that servo in place. And very often with Arduino, servo jitter and twitching is a really well-known problem. And that was one of the things that when we first were looking at Accelerate, we thought, well, this is a problem that could easily be solved with FPGA and moving that servo control logic out to an accelerator block. So that was one of the first customers we really thought of, which was Arduino users that, or other small microcontroller board users that have really bumped into the end of what their processor can do or what their microcontroller on that board can do, but would rather not switch form factors entirely. Keep in mind the blog post we did last week about the one customer of ours that was able to take an Arduino board right out of their existing application, plug in an Accelerate board, and just it still worked. So they didn't have to change any of their code, and they didn't have to change the form factor physical interface to their project. They could just plug Accelerate right in there and then start developing that custom FPGA logic that they wanted for their specific application to make it run faster, make it run better, and do what they needed it to do. So that is really customer type one, the advanced Arduino maker, advanced microcontroller developer user that is trying to get beyond the limitations of the microcontroller that they're currently using and can see where using the FPGA acceleration would make that happen, especially when they can take advantage of pre-existing accelerator blocks that we've designed. That's customer type number one for today. We'll talk more about customer type number two tomorrow. Thanks again for watching.